Yo, what's up, y'all? This is gonna be bad. It's gonna be an educational video, but it's also gonna be like a very fucked up video. Just give me out a heads up. So, there's this girl that Victoria Everest or some shit like that. She falsely accused a man of rape, all because she wanted to get back at him and be on some petty and be on some spiteful petty shit. There was this guy named Gucci Walker that went out his way to record her after he told her that to try to like set the nigga free. The nigga was facing 10 years, bro. This kind of hits home with me cuz I've been in a situation similar to this, not like I got accused of rape, but I've been falsely accused by females and it went to the court and I didn't have anybody to really help me out like him. I had text message proof and all this shit, but that wasn't the type of case it was. That didn't matter. That didn't matter. So I just want guys to watch out because you really don't know a girl is like this until some shit bad happens. But still, I want you guys to be aware of shit like this and try your best to avoid it, however that may be. Okay, let's get into the content.
You enjoy it, and you're gonna keep going. But the energy that you're putting into that, you could triple your income. You could be doing other things. You know what I mean? So that's one thing. Two, in all reality, you're killing yourself with a fake charge. Alright, cool. You can.
I don't care. I want to take him to the cleaners, babe.
Yeah, but this is what I thought about. This is what I was telling you. I
I
thought
hate
about
him
it.
because I hate him because he's so much like me, and it annoys me.
We're about to go over absolutely terrifying content. And it's not that we haven't gone over this content on this platform before. It's just in order to have this conversation as real as what we can, once we capture people on camera saying that, yeah, I have falsely accused somebody, or they are alluding to it within the confines of the content, it gives for greater discussion. But this content should be terrifying if you are a young man or an old man. It should be terrifying if you have sons, if you have an uncle, if you have a brother. Any man within your life, or if you are a man, should watch this video and take heed to the information we are about to present to you. Now, the person of interest in this current video is the lovely young lady over here in the pink top. Let me make this a little bit bigger just to make sure that we're having the same conversation. It's this lovely young lady over here in the pink top, and don't let the smile fool you because this is a wolf in sheep's clothing. Now, this lovely young lady, she goes by the
Stop calling her a lovely young lady, MTO. That shit gonna get me tight, bro. That's a bitch. That's a bitch. That's a hoe. That's a succubus. That's a fucking thought, bro. That's a slut. That's a horrible fucking human being. She is anything but fucking lovely.
name Victoria Everest out here on these Instagram streets. And if you take a look at her profile, it's one of these health, wellness. I don't know if she's vegan. It doesn't really matter. But you see that she's accumulated over 750,000 followers through, fitness, wellness, health, exercise. You can actually see over here that she used to be of the Bigums, right? And then post updates in regards to the beach body that she has now attained. Nevertheless, this lovely young woman is going to be the highlight of this video here today. And I guess, let me not explain it. Let me go over to the savior or the post of the savior that has given us this content. And it's by this brother right here. Let me go through his post right here just to make sure we're speaking the same language. His name is Gucci Walker. He said, a couple of years ago, I got told that a guy that I know was being falsely accused of R. He was on bail, and honestly, there was no way he would beat the case because the woman planned it very well. She invited him over. They had S, and then she went to her bathroom and called the police, accusing him of R. So he got arrested
Some premeditated shit, bro. Fucking
at the
crazy.
scene in her house. Wilts, the evidence of his sperm was still inside of her. This guy was going to go to prison for such an evil plan. Not just one count of R, but 2 counts. He would have gotten 12 years minimum. When I heard it, I felt sick and I had to try and help. So I call him the savior. I went to her gym and I made friends with her and worked my charm. It didn't take long before she eventually started bragging to me about the way that she hurts men. I had my phone secretly filming the entire conversation, and the police dropped the R case against the guy. We live in an evil world, and men really need to be careful with some women. Now, the footage he uploaded to his Facebook account, and it barely has any views right now. We're going to go through the footage in order to hear from her words, her thoughts, her trauma that she's passing down to other people. And the thing
gut
is,
microbiome.
Shut up. When I take a look at her profile and I see the image that she projects, right? When I see the copyright. When I see the Instagram profile and she's got areolas showing, right? She's selling this degree of sexuality.
And she's talking about like her shit is fitness and wellness. And she does toxic shit like this, bro.
This is why I stay.
Yo, shout out to fucking Gucci Walker, bro. Dead ass. Shout out to Gucci, because homie would have been in jail for 12 years and he couldn't fight or contest that shit in no way, shape, or form because of the way she had it set up. Shout out W Gucci Walker, bro. All of y'all go follow him, bro. I don't know. I think he's on Instagram or Facebook, maybe. But let me go back. It's on. This is Twitter. This is X. Yo, go follow Gucci Walker, man. W fucking Walker.
The Instagram copyright. When I see the Instagram profile and she's got areolas showing, right? She's selling this degree of sexuality. This is why I stay so far away from these women, because when I see them do this, it comes from a place of inadequacy. It comes from a place of hurt. It comes from a place of being bitter, single, unhappy. Sometimes they're bitter baby mamas. No matter what it is that it comes from, I stay clear and far away, because I think that the thought of hashtag believe all women in the society that we currently live absolutely terrifies me, that things like this.
And imagine the damage this does to females that really been sexually assaulted, that really gone through rape. Now shit like this is like if fucks with that, it brings all of that shit into question. It brings all, yo, we really gotta change the hashtag, but she set it up so perfectly, had the sperm in her. Had man, come on.
Can ultimately happen. And it should terrify you too. Collect all the receipts, have cameras somewhere and around that recording. Don't go back to their cribs until you can ensure the content of their character. Let's get active on this content and let's get through the learning lessons. Without further ado,
Their realizations.
I think you shouldn't go past 31 doing the toxic stuff. Yeah, because it's too much energy you're investing out.
That's what the therapist was saying yesterday. It was like, is it not exhausting?
Yeah.
And I'm like, it's not though.
So you're gonna live. You've done for 5 years hurting men. You enjoy it, and you're gonna keep going. But the energy that you're putting into that, you could triple your income. You could be doing other things. You know what I mean? So that's one thing. Two, in all reality, you're killing yourself with a fake charge. Can I tell you where? You're gonna have to put in energy to get a fake charge across. But if it doesn't go according to plan, it'll bounce back on you, and it'll be. Obviously, they will have medical.
I've done all this. There's evidence. I've given him a clothes. He banged me, babe. Like we had sex, yeah, and he's denying that he was even there.
How can you do that if you got arrested in your house?
No, so one was for an occasion where he left.
Yeah.
The other time he was there, but he claimed that we didn't have sex, but there was evidence to say that we have.
Alright, cool. You can.
I don't care. I want him.
And she's smiling. Look at the smile on this bitch fucking jigsaw face, scream mask face looking bitch.
I want to take him to the cleaners, babe.
Yeah, but this is what I thought about. This is what I was thinking.
This is some guy I want to take him to the cleaners. This is some diabolical shit. This is the definition of fucking evil. If somebody was to run, you're fucking with people's lives, bro. If somebody was to run up and do something to her, I would understand why. I would really understand fucking why.
I
I
thought about
hate
it,
him
yeah.
because I know I hate him because he's so much like me, and it annoys me.
But Victoria, listen to me carefully, yeah. Your thing, your skill is that you can detect a victim you want and rate them. That's what you do. You enjoy doing it. It doesn't mean you've got a victim involved.
No, it doesn't.
It just means
I've just got one over. That's all.
Yeah, but it
That's
means you
enough
got
for me.
desperate that you weren't able to hurt him. You pulled a fake. You know what I'm saying? So
That's still gonna hurt him. He hates that. And the thing is, he's gonna go out continuing to fuck up girls' lives. Yeah.
Yeah.
With an assault charge and a rape charge, he'll think
Assault
twice
charge.
about. He'll think twice about what he does next time when he meets the next girl.
yeah, fair
He'll
enough.
think
But
twice
it's a
about it.
fake charge. So how do you? What have you won from that? Though?
So what? The guy lies for a living. Let him have a taste of his own medicine. That's all.
Let me just pause right here. I'm going to get through the rest of the content, but there's some things we got to talk about. Quick emergency meeting. I was recently obviously is finger at each and every one of these cases and continue to believe none of you because women like this exists. The second thing is, and shout out to the brother that is recording this and eventually utilize this content to exonerate who she accused. But he said something very interesting right there, which is very important, is that if you took the energy out of hate, think about where you'd be in life. But see, trauma-filled, hate-filled people, they prioritize their get back. They prioritize their emotional reactions in a world where they'll face no consequences for their actions. They're incentivized to lie in order to get their get back. These types of women are the most vindictive. They are the most destructive. They will smile in your face, but cut your neck as soon as you turn your back. And the crazy thing is that the system around us, they'll believe them first. And that is exactly what is wrong with it. When you see these allegations taking place from people that we don't know if they're innocent or guilty, from like an Andrew Tate, to people who have had their just due in court, such as a Johnny Depp, you begin to see the lies fall apart when faced under intense scrutiny. This man was jailed and set to be found guilty if it wasn't for this brother coming out and attempting to exonerate him. And that's what happens when you're in a society that you're guilty at the point of accusation and no one wants to hear you or platform you to hear your side of the story. And to think that there are no current criminal charges after the evidence has come out, no consequences, no repercussions, should absolutely terrify you. Should terrify you. Because when will they stop? Let me back it up and then finish the video.
They'll bounce back on you, and it'll be obviously they'll have medical.
Because I've done all this. There's evidence. I've given him my clothes. He banged me, babe. Like, we had sex, yeah? And he's denying that he was even there.
How can you do that if you got arrested in your house?
No, so one was for an occasion where he left.
Yeah.
The other time he was there, but he claimed that we didn't have sex, but there was evidence to say that we have.
Alright, cool. You can.
I don't care. I want to take him to the cleaners, babe.
Yeah, but this is what I thought about. This is what I was thinking. I thought about it.
And I know I hate him because he's so much like me. Like, it annoys
Like
me.
you.
But Victoria, listen to me carefully, yeah? Your thing, your skill is that you can detect a victim you want and rate them. That's what you do. You enjoy doing it. It doesn't mean you've got a victim involved.
No, it doesn't.
It just means
I've just got
you
one over. That's all.
Yeah, but
That's
it means you
enough
got
for me.
desperate that you weren't able to hurt him. You pulled a fake. You know what I'm saying? So
That's still gonna hurt him. He hates that. And the thing is, he's gonna go out continuing to fuck up girls' lives, yeah?
Yeah.
With an assault charge and a rape charge, he'll think
Assault
twice
charge.
about. He'll think
How did he fuck up your life? What did he do that
Twice about.
fucking not saying there's anything that justified it, but how did he fuck up your life if you're
what he does next time
It's
when
a
he meets the next
punishment.
girl.
yeah, fair
He'll
enough.
think
But
twice
it's a
about it.
fake charge. So how do you? What have you won from that? Though?
So what? The guy lies for a living. Let him have a taste of his own medicine. That's all. Let him continue lying for a living. That's what he does. He spins stories and sells dreams for a living. End of. So when a story spun on him, let him swallow that pill.
But I get your angle. But then you can't say you've won or you was able
It's
to.
not a
hurt.
game. I'm done. I've pulled back. I've done what I've done. I've played my move. I've moved on. Like,
But you weren't able to hurt. the way you usually like to hurt men. You weren't able to hurt him.
Well, I did, because in the relationship, I continued to cheat on him. Remember, their realization.
Okay, so not only was she cheating on him in a relationship to continue on hurting him, but then also false allegations in order to try to ruin his life on the way out. Oh, this is a interesting.
You know what the crazy part is? This ain't even like a rare thing, bro. This is not a rare happening, a rare occurrence, or a rare whatever. There's a lot of niggas in jail right now for false accusation from bitter bitches like them. They wasn't fortunate enough to have a Gucci Walker on their side. And what about, she said she done this before, so what about all the other men's in the past? How many fake rape charges had you placed on them? Man, this shit is fucking crazy. This is man, get the
Type of a succubus and demon witch serpent woman. If it can happen at a level of a Johnny Depp with all of those cameras, all of those eyes, all of those public opinions and perceptions, if it can happen at a level of a Shannon Sharp where everybody can look at that situation and say, Uncle Shay Shay, you're stupid. You just got cleaned out of a professional jukester. Yeah, right. If it can happen at those levels, what makes y'all think that it doesn't happen at an average man's level? This is not a one-off. This is a pattern, and it
definitely not
absolutely
a one off.
needs to be addressed. Let's go through some of the comments on the video right now and see what else that we can learn about the situation. All right. This person at the top said, I just checked the legalities of this video. You are the person. Actually, let me try to make this a little bit bigger so you guys, can see this a little bit better as we read along. All right. I just checked the legalities of this video. You or the person should submit a formal request to the police for prosecution and also submit a complaint to the police force involved, as well as the IOPC. Seems like none of these acronyms make sense to those that are out in the States, because from their accents you can tell that they're in the UK or something like that. So that's why these acronyms don't make sense. People like this make it hard for real victims. Where's my soundboard at, baby? I got rid of my. There we go. And she should be made an example of. Shout out to Carlito. All right. That's vile. I can't stand women like that. And they should be charged with a minimum sentence. I agree with all of this. The man that was accused would have gotten, in my opinion, Bell, as someone who was an SA, women like her make it harder for us to actually be believed. Not to mention the actual trauma we carry because of that.
1000% facts, bro. 1000% facts. If you guys wanna see the rest of MTR's video about this, you can. Y'all know I fuck with MTR. I like his channel. I subscribe. What is this joint? This the membership shit, yeah. I subscribe to the homie. I fuck with his shit. Good channel, good takes. Definitely helping man out. If you guys want to see the rest of the video, I'll put the link in the description. Cause the reason why I'm not finishing this, cause I wanna do I wanna do a reaction to this video. I wanna do it all in one take though. So this might be a little bit of a longer video, but I know I'm not gonna watch that full thing, cause I just know it's gonna piss me off to the point where it's like I can't get through it. I'm gonna try to sit through what I can. Like, let's see. There's no justification for this shit. But let's sit here and watch her play fucking victim and blame everything in the fucking world but herself and take zero accountability for it. I'll be right back and then we'll get into that. So 1 second. Alright. Sorry about that. Let's get back into it.
And paid Gucci to release the video.
So let's talk about the video.
As a result of that video being provided to the police, I was charged, caution, and I had to go on probation. So I have a criminal record. And
Are you saying that?
Oh, boo, I was charged. I had to go on probation and he been giving you a good, you was good. The nigga was about to do 10 plus years in fucking jail for false accusation of rape, bitch. What are you taught? Yo, maybe I'm tripping for this, but if somebody falsely accuses somebody for something and it's found out that they false accused it, whatever sentence that person was facing, the false accuser should face that same sentence. I think there should be jail time involved for false accusations of this magnitude.
That you wanted to get him back because of the abuse.
I called the police 19 times because I was at fear of my life.
What was the psychological
So why did you stay for 19 times, bitch? Where's the proof of all this? I don't believe. How come she didn't say none of this shit in the Gucci Walker shit? Huh? Now, man, get shut your.
effects
I really want to hear the side of the nigga that got accused of not Gucci Walker. I'm talking about the dude that he got that they accused of that she accused of sexual of SA.
that it had on you? How would you describe that?
I kept finding myself in relationships with abusive men.
Do you think that your father being absent in your life contributed to how you view men?
I witnessed the most horrific acts of domestic violence. I'm talking, my mum was regularly beaten black and blue.
You said that this video was made nearly 10 years ago.
Yeah, I can't even believe somebody could hold on to a video that long.
Why is it being released now?
I don't know. I think you need to ask him that question.
When did you decide that in order for me to get him back, because that's what you mentioned in the video, that you were going to make this false allegation? Like, when did that thought process land?
Like, I felt that at that point that
this is gonna be a fucking shit interview because it don't seem like the interviewer is gonna ask any fucking good questions.
The only person that could stop this man was me.
Welcome to Off the Record, a platform for individuals to speak their truth, discuss their thoughts, and own their stories. We will be having candid conversations, dissecting various events, asking the questions we are all eager to know, and hopefully coming to graceful conclusions. I'm your host, Mide Oni, the one and only. Let's get into it. Today, we are joined by somebody that has gone viral the last couple of days for something very controversial and very sensitive to a lot of people. She's here today to
Controversial, huh? Not something very vile, very fucked up, but very controversial and sensitive.
discuss her side of the story and
Got it.
hopefully clear some questions up. Please welcome to the show, Victoria Everest. How are you?
Like, why would you even platform a bitch like this, bro? Not everybody deserves to be platformed. Why would you platform a bitch like this? Who gives a fuck about her side? There is no her side.
Great, thank you. How are you?
I'm very well. Thank you for asking. I mean, this has been a very intense couple of days for you, I'm sure. How have you been feeling? How are you managing?
Actually, I've managed to stay quite grounded. I've got an excellent support network and community around me, which I'm just incredibly grateful for. I'm in the middle of a 21-day juice fast, which has really just allowed me to just not react to things that are being saying online, but really just respond with truth and clarity. So I'm super grateful for this opportunity to set the record straight.
Well, thank you for joining us to set the record straight. I'm looking forward to this conversation. So before we get started, tell us a bit about yourself. You've got an amazing platform in terms of wellness and fitness and caring for the body. So for those people that don't know you prior to this scandal, tell us a bit more about what you do and who you are.
So I run one of the fastest growing detox and wellness academies in the world, and we teach people essentially how they can recreate claim
I don't give a fuck. I don't give a
video
fuck.
online. Let's kind of start by, I think what we need to kind of clarify is your relationship with men, first and foremost, because certain things that you were saying in the video kind of showed that you don't like men. So kind of talk me through that. Like, what's your relationship or your view towards men holistically?
So just to give you a bit of context, my mum's Turkish, my father's Nigerian. I was born and raised in London. Both my parents came to the UK as immigrants back in the 80s. My mum actually couldn't speak any English. Turkish was our main spoken language at home, and I actually ended up learning English at school. My relationship with my father was a very interesting one. He was a well-renowned journalist, had a publication called Business in Africa magazine, and I was his princess. I had a very close relationship with him growing up until the age of 12, when he then moved to South Africa to pursue his business and his career. And at that point, things really changed for me. Going into my teenage years, not having my father present, I would see him once or twice a year, but he didn't play an active role in my life at all. Kind of going into early teenagehood, adolescence, and at the age of 19, at 47 years young, his life was tragically taken. He was assassinated by a family member, and that was for me probably one of the most traumatic experiences I had to go through. As a young adult, in my early teens, losing I would say losing my best friend. I looked up to my dad so much. We spent so much time together, even though he wasn't there physically. He still was my idol. And to have his life, to lose him so tragically.
Isn't that a contradiction? If you only seen him twice a year, type shit, because that's what that's what you said, and you make it seem like he wasn't involved in your life after the age of 12. How were you guys so close? If y'all were y'all talking every single day? If that's the case, then that's different. How was he your idol if you don't see the nigga, if you barely see the nigga after the age of 12? Doesn't that sound weird to y'all? I'm I'm just gonna point out bullshit that I think is bullshit.
Such a young age, I think definitely played a burden on me for sure.
Well, I'm sorry for your loss. I'm really sorry to hear that.
So, cause your father got assassinated or murdered or killed by a family member, your choice and action was, okay, I'm gonna accuse man of rape now. Okay, that makes sense.
Do you think that
That makes sense.
your father being absent in your life contributed to how you view men?
Not having my dad around growing up didn't influence my view on men. I think what it did do is it created a space for where I didn't have the right guidance, nurturing, or support structure as a young person. It created the space for me to just essentially encounter challenges. Going through my teenage life from the age of from the ages of 12 to 16, so from year 7, to year 11, I went to 6 different secondary schools. I was expelled 3 times. I got myself involved with, a gang of criminals, to say it quite frankly. And I almost got myself murdered at the age of 15. I was on the front page of Hackney Gazette because I had been kidnapped, taken, by the kidnappers to a river, had all of my hair cut off. I had a bag put over my head and thrown into the river. I was in a hospital for 2 weeks in concussion. And as a result of that, there was multiple attacks at that time. But as a result of that first attack, I was put into witness protection, which I later came out of because I decided not to pursue the charges. But at that point,
You heard what she's saying? So everything she made is a consequence of her fucking choices to go and said lifestyle, to follow said whatever. Has nothing to do with you not having a father figure. You chose those lifestyle. You chose to follow X, Y, and Z. That's your fault, bitch. Your fault. I want to see if she takes any accountability for anything right now in her life.
also was in social services by the age of 15. I was in a foster home. My dad wasn't around, like I said, and both my parents really tried their best with me. I am an only child, and I think by the point where they realized that my life was in serious danger growing up, at the time I was in Hackney. So when they realized that my life was in serious danger, my dad decided to step in and remove me from the UK, and I ended up finishing my studies in Germany. I went to the Berlin British School, and I ended up finishing year 11.
Okay, wow,
Seems like
that's
your
a lot
dad
to
was
take
involved
in.
in your
There's
life to
so much
know
to
that your
unpack
life
in
was
what
in
you've just said.
danger.
But what I want to touch on is you mentioned so you talk about your dad, but where was your mum when all of this was happening?
I also lost my mum in 2021 to COVID. She was 56 years young. So that's, talking about my mum always get a little bit emotional. But up until the age of 12, my mum played a really active role in my life. She was the mum that would take me to every single after school club, swimming, horse riding. She is an incredibly, incredibly strong and inspiring woman that poured nothing but love and nurturance into me growing up. But when I hit the age
Looks
of
like it
12,
didn't take.
she met somebody, and the person that she had met was living in Tottenham at the time. We were living in South London in West Norwood. And within a few months of meeting this individual, he was a Turkish man, she fell pregnant. They decided they were going to get married and have a child. So essentially, at the age of 12, my mum had decided to start a new family. And I think that's really when my struggles with men really began. And throughout those years, throughout those teenage years, throughout the adolescent years, from the time that my mum was with this man, his name was Sayed, I witnessed the most horrific acts of domestic violence. I'm talking, my mum was regularly beaten black and blue in front of me, had her hair dragged, had her teeth kicked in while she was pregnant to my younger brother. My stepdad kicked her.
I'm not gonna lie. I don't believe shit she's saying. I don't believe shit she said. She just said she was an only child. I don't believe shit the bitch is saying. I don't believe it. I'm taking everything a bitch that wants to accuse a man of fucking rape to quote unquote teach him a lesson for whatever fucking reason, like premeditate the fucking rape charge have sex with him, call the police while he's in the fucking crib, and do all of this. I'm not believing shit she says. I'm call me heartless, call me fucking call call me cynical, call me whatever, but I'm not believing shit the bitch says. Not a damn thing. She's looking for sympathy, bro. She's doing all of this shit looking for fucking sympathy.
in the stomach. And, it was just one of those things growing up. I ended up really resenting, because I had no control as a teenager. I had no control. I had no way of protecting my mom. And I thought, definitely at the time, maybe I can seek safety
The voice is, if it was so traumatic, why aren't you crying? Your voice is breaking up, but I don't see your eyes getting water. I don't see no tears falling. You still got a big ass smile on your face. So how was it really, Mish?
and comfort on the streets. And that's what I did. I got taken in by the streets. And I remember, 14, 15, that was another thing as well. Whilst I was still at home, I also had challenges because my mum, being Turkish, is white. My stepdad was white. My little brother was also white. So I also felt like I didn't fit in. My dad wasn't around. So the closest space, or I guess the closest I could feel home was really the safety on the streets. And I remember going through my teenage years thinking one day I'm gonna kill this man for what he's put my mum through. And that's essentially, I think, was the beginning of the relationship. The beginning, I guess, the beginning of it all was witnessing domestic violence, the severity of what my mum went through growing up. And I know a lot of people can relate in Turkish cultures, especially Turkish, Arabic, any kind of ethnic culture. To be beaten by your husband is normalized. It's one of those things that it's like women just have to endure it. We have to accept it. And that my mum, because of the sake of my younger brother, she stayed in that relationship.
What was the psychological effects that it had on you? How would you describe that?
It almost normalized it, so it was no coincidence when I hit 26, 27 that I kept finding myself in relationships with abusive men. That played a really big part in terms of my psychology. And
You see how she always fucks up and says she finds herself in a relationship abusing, and then she corrects to abusive men? Yeah, I just want to repeat that. Yeah, see how she fucks up saying that she's been in a relationship abusing men, but she stops herself saying abusive men. I just want to repeat that.
not realizing, I think it was more of a subconscious decision that I was making, that I would end up in a relationship with men who at some point would end up abusing me. If it wasn't physically, it was emotionally or mentally. And it was a pattern that was continuing throughout kind of my adult life.
So let's talk about the video, the recent viral video. So when the video first dropped, you mentioned that it was fake and it was AI. Can we talk a bit about that? Like, what did you mean?
So given the given the size and scale of my account, I'm not the person that always is behind running my account. So the video was sent to me,
Pat,
and my first response to the video was that this has been edited, this is fake. And that's what I said to my team. So they then took that and said it was AI. When I realized that they put out it was AI, I deleted the story immediately.
well,
And
okay, so why would you tell your team that it's edited is fake? Why would you tell your team that? Huh? You know damn well that shit was true. You know exactly what you said in that shit. Why would you tell your team that it's edited or it's fake? And it did not look edited or AI at all. There was no skips in the conversation where y'all was saying one thing, he just jumped to something and a whole nother. Nah, 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 nah. So why would you tell your team that if you knew that shit was the truth? Hmm. Interesting. Good question, Manny. I wonder why. These are questions that the fucking interviewer should be asking, but the bitch ain't gonna ask it.
then went forward with saying it's a very, very real video. It's just been, it's a 7-minute video that's been edited specifically to show me in a particular light, So I think there was a misunderstanding there for sure.
Obviously, there's a lot of things that we need to unpack about that video, but you mentioned that, like you hate men in that video. And obviously you describing everything that you've gone through psychologically, one could argue that, it's understandable why you would kind of have that viewpoint. But you've mentioned that your dad didn't contribute to it, it was your stepdad, and then you also entered into abusive relationships. What did those abusive relationships look like? What did you experience?
In relation to the video, the person
Why
I was
the
in a
fuck
relationship
does that
with
matter to
was
the
over a
problem
period
at hand
of
here?
18 months. When I first entered the relationship with this guy, generally I would, be naive enough, because I'm someone who wears their heart on their sleeve naturally in every scenario, every situation. And, one of the things that led me to even entering this relationship was just being vulnerable enough to take people for face value. The manipulation that went into pursuing the relationship from him, early on in the relationship, really was, when I look back and reflect, I think, okay, I definitely was in a really broken state. When I look back at that video, because I've watched it a couple of times, and just to set the record straight, that video was filmed almost 10 years ago. The person who I was speaking about in that video wasn't arrested and wasn't prosecuted. Whilst I said some extremely, extremely, vile things in that video, a lot of people have really focused on the hate and the anger, and
I'm so sorry. I'm just going to cut you.
She's lying. The video was not 10 years ago. Because I've seen a little bit of what Gucci Walker's like. He had an interview also. We could react to that, but on another video. Um, In that video, he said you can't be doing this shit past your 31, past 31 or some shit like that. She's like 34, 36 right now. So how the fuck was that 10 years ago, bitch? Hmm. Okay.
because you said the person in the video that you were referring to was not
And if it was 10 years ago, why would he wait so long to release it? Why? For what purpose?
prosecuted, was not arrested, was not charged.
Absolutely not. He wasn't, he wasn't charged. He didn't go to jail. And actually the video was provided to the police. And because the video was provided to the police, he managed to get away with those charges. And as a result of that video being
Get away with those charges, bitch. You never did anything. What do you mean get she don't feel remorse, bro. He don't feel sympathy. She's not remorseful for that. He managed to get away with the charges? What the charge he
provided to the police, I was charged, caution, and I had to go on probation. So I have a criminal record. And, that was a decision made by the police at the time. So I
good.
really had to pay the price.
Okay,
Did
so
you?
we're moving along a bit quickly here. So the the video, the man that released the video, Gucci Walker, I believe, right? Am I correct?
Correct.
Yeah. He released a statement saying that his friend, the reason why he made the video was because his friend was charged with a false rape case. Yeah. And at the hands of you, you planned it. You had the man in your house where you both had intercourse, and then the police caught him there. So he was going to jail. He couldn't bust case on this particular matter because he was found in your house. But you're saying that that didn't happen.
No, so he did get arrested, and because the video, was provided to the police as evidence, he was released. He never got charged, and he, I never saw Denzel again. That was, over 8 years ago. We've never spoken. We've never seen. He went on with his life. I went,
The video didn't happen overnight. Like Gucci Walker said he took time to get to know you, work his charm and all that other shit. So if he got arrested, the nigga stayed in jail for however long, because I doubt they gonna release him on some shit like this. That if it's two things of it, and it happened, and it was two rape charges that happened, I doubt the police is gonna release him in jail, especially with the type of evidence that you manifested against him. So what are you talking? She's a fucking liar, bro.
we made a lot of mistakes during that relationship. That was probably one of the most traumatic. I've been through two very, very traumatic relationships in my life. One of those, when I say traumatic, violent and abusive, one of those was with Denzel, the person that was in question in the video. And his ex-partner warned me. She was a teacher. She had a non-molestation order against him. And she said, look, this guy, she told me exactly what was going to happen in the relationship. And I didn't believe her. Denzel, convinced me also not to believe her, and I really paid the price of that. One of the biggest things, that came out of the
You paid the price.
relationship is during the time that we were together, I fell pregnant. I ended up contracting an STI. He gave me gonorrhea at the time. At the time I was working at Microsoft, I had
You know what's crazy? She's talking about he ended up giving her a staff. Wasn't she the one cheating? Because we don't know if he was cheating. But she admitted in the Gucci Walker video that she was cheating on this nigga with multiple guys. So was it really him that gave you the STI, shorty? Huh? That's a good question, Maddie.
a very successful career with a six-figure salary. And he told me that he was an ex-football player, semi-pro football player, only to later discover that actually he worked on the railways. He was living at his mum's house on the couch. And the car that he'd met me in, which was a brand new Range Rover, belonged to the girl that he was dating at Brown Eagle. It was someone else's vehicle. So that was only, months into the relationship I was discovering.
So you got warned that he's a bad X, Y, and Z. But because you seen money and all this other shit, you're like, oh, fuck it, I don't care. Okay, gold digger.
Covering these things. I found a secret phone in his car.
Okay.
There was a whole array of women that he was meeting up with, and sleeping with at the same time while he was living in my house. And any single time that I confronted him, the backlash was, a verbal, physical abuse. And during the time that we was in the relationship, I called the police 19 times because I was at fear of my life. My son was living with me at the time. I'm a single mom, and my son was around 7 at the time. And that was one of the worst things, that I've ever experienced, was to see my son, witness me getting beaten up by this man. And he wasn't just a man, he was a street thug. He was a guy off the street, from the ends.
Does that make sense, y'all? So, I'm sorry for pausing so much, but I just want to address every fucking point when the bitch says it. So, she seen her mom get abused, right? Allegedly. She seen her mom get abused by XYZ and she hated it. She wanted to kill the da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Right? That's what she said. Her words, right? Right? That's her words. That's what you said, right, Veronica? Okay, good shit, bitch. Those were her words. And then She's talking about the nigga lived with her, so it was at her house, and all this other shit was at her house. You're getting abused by your so-called boyfriend while your son is watching it, and you continue to let that nigga stay in your house. You continue to let that nigga. You called the police 19 times. If you did all that, I'm pretty sure they gave you a restraining order. So how did he keep coming back into your crib? How did he get past the 19 times, shorty? Why? I take everything this bitch says with a mountain of salt, bro. A mountain of salt.
And and because of the fact that each time I called the police for for abuse, whether it was abuse in front of or isolating me where he wasn't at home, because there was a child at home, social services were involved. And at the last point where he was arrested, my main concern was keeping him safe. That was the ultimate thing for me. Social services were, I was at complete risk of losing him because I was in this relationship with this abusive man.
So why would you stay? You was about to lose your child. Why would you stay with a nigga that did some crazy shit to you 19 plus times? And where's the police report of all this shit? Where's the proof? We're just supposed to believe you after you lied about a nigga fucking sexually assaulting you? I can imagine what else you're capable of lying about, bitch. Huh? Man, get the man. Fellas, fellas, please think with your fucking head, not your dick. Please think with your fucking head, not your dick. Look, this nigga's life was damn near ruined, if not ruined. I could imagine the mental anguish, the mental trauma this nigga has. This nigga's been going through because he been in jail and the shit that he been through. He might never look at a bitch the same, bro. I wouldn't even blame him. Every bitch I see, I'm double checking, triple checking. I'm recording all conversations. I'm making them sign NDAs, bro. I'm asking shorty, yo, it's okay that we fuck? Do you consent to us fucking recording that? Do you consent to us having sex? Yes? Okay, cool. I just need that to happen. Whoop de whoop. And after we finish fucking, hey, did you at any point say that you wanted to stop fucking? Did you enjoy that? Is that okay? Cool. Imagine the amount of Imagine the lack of trust this nigga's gonna have the amount of trust issue. There we go. That's what I'm looking for. Imagine the amount of trust issues this nigga's gonna have to go through and to put up with, bro. Imagine all of that shit. All because what? The bitch felt hurt? Oh, like fellas, please do your due diligence and think with your fucking brain, not your fucking dick, bro. Think with this head and not that head. Please, for the love of God, avoid bitches like this at all and every cost. Like, see, I would never be with a bitch like that just off how she looks. She looks like she's a fake ass bitch, bro. She looks like that. She looks like a typical gold digger R type, bro. So please, fellas, do your due diligence and avoid bitches like this, bro. These type of bitches are Satan. Fucking Satan manifested. Please. Please avoid this shit.
What point did you decide everything that you're going through in this
If this doesn't show you how spiteful bitches, like, it took me a while to learn how spiteful bitches are, bro. Especially in my situation too, my personal, and I was blinded by. I'm like, nah, she's not like that. She not do until I seen the, because when you go through some shit, you get the discovery. Until I seen the discovery and I seen what the fuck the bitch was saying about me behind my back to these niggas, the type of lies and shit she was saying. Yo, bitches are spiteful. Hell have no fury like a fucking woman scorned. I learned that shit. I learned that lesson the moment I was watching that shit, bro. Stay the fuck away from bitches like this.
relationship, the abuse that you were enduring, when did you decide that in order for me to get him back, because that's what you mentioned in the video, that you were going to make this false allegation? Like, when did that thought process land?
So every single time the police were called, the follow-up was made. There was a non-molestation order. There was a restraining order, so he couldn't, come back to the house. But he would always turn back up at the house, crying, begging me, apologizing. He's not going to do it again, and I need to forgive him. That I'm his baby girl, and everything was going to be okay. And being naive and vulnerable, at the time, I would take him back, believe his lies, and not
19 times. 19 times. You believed it 19 fucking times. Okay.
Realizing at the time I was experiencing, what we call today as severe narcissism. But there came a point where the social services were like, we're gonna, you're now putting your child in risk by staying in this relationship. It was only in hindsight, when I look back, I take responsibility for being the codependent to enable that relationship to go on for as long as it did. I definitely take accountability, for the things that I said in that video. The hurtful things that I said. I hate men. One of the things I referred to in that video specifically was the fact that I say to the person that was recording the video that I'm going to put a stop to this so that he doesn't go and do this to other women. I felt at that point that the only person that could stop this man was me, and the only way that I could stop him was by sending him to jail. And the reason behind that was I didn't want anyone else.
Victoria, I'm so sorry. I'm just going to interject here.
Yeah.
So, are you saying that you wanted to get him back because of the abuse? Because even though you're mentioning things that he's done, I'm still a bit hazy on what he actually did to you. Like, what was the 13th reason as to why you felt like I'm going to get him arrested? What was he actually doing to you?
He'd beaten me up in front of he beating me black and blue. It wasn't just my mouth was swollen, I had blood, my eyes, it was just essentially it was a repeat of what I.
Where's the proof? Show us the photos. Show us the police reports. Where's all this shit at? Please show us. A bitch like this that's seeking sympathy so fucking much. I feel like if this was true, you would have brought all of that with you. Am I wrong for thinking that? Show us the proof. Where's the proof?
Had been experiencing growing up. At that point, he strangled me, so I lost consciousness. And that was the final straw for me. That was it, because I said to myself, like, there's no way I can keep going through this. At the time, my mum was still alive, and she was very much, encouraging me to get the law involved and really make sure that I can draw a line and be able to move on, from this relationship. And
sorry, looking back, why did you feel like this was the best course of action for you to take?
When I look back at why I would have taken that, why I would have been so drastic and so extreme in terms of my response. It wasn't even a response, it was a reaction. It was a reaction.
No. It wasn't a reaction. A reaction is if I slap somebody and they slap me right then in that moment. That's a reaction. You planned this shit. You invited him over, had sex with him, wait until he fell asleep or whatever happened, called the police with his fucking sperm inside of your shit, told him that, hey, this nigga raped me while he was in bed. You lied to multiple officers about that. You did a rape kit and all of that shit. This was not a fucking response. This was a premeditated plan. Cold and calculated fucking plan that you chose to do. This was not a response. This was not a reaction. So what are you talking about? Yo, this interviewer is getting me tight, bro.
Because I was terrified of what he would do to me, that he would continue to do it to me.
But yet you wasn't terrified enough to bring him to your house and fuck him. You were scared for your life. You were terrified. You would want us to believe that, but not terrified enough to invite this nigga over and fuck him, and then try to get him thrown in jail. You wasn't terrified enough for that though, right? Okay, cool.
Put me at harm, put my son in harm, put other women in harm. And I felt like I said, I could be the one to stop that and change that, not realizing, that we don't have the ability to change anyone. We can only change ourselves. And unfortunately, I messed up. I made a really stupid decision in making that statement. And, I had to pay the price. I really had to pay the price. Not only did somebody get away scot-free from the offenses that they committed, but I ended up, having a criminal record because of it. Ultimately.
How did he get away scot-free for an offense that he didn't rape you? Yo, she still thinks in her head that he raped her. Holy shit. He got away with it. He got off scot-free from the shit that he did. Yo, she really believes in her own lie that he raped.
That wasn't the end, I had to do, that was the beginning of, and I think I even mentioned it in that recording that, that's what my therapist said. I've been in therapy for almost coming up to 8 years now. And that was the beginning of my therapy. That was the beginning of realizing, my part to play, how I enabled the situation. And, ultimately I take responsibility, because ultimately,
No, you don't.
I didn't have any self-worth for myself. If I had enough self-worth for myself, I would never let a man like that in my space, in my home, or at my child. I had no value of that. And I think that's where that's where it all begun for me.
I think, I mean, the abuse that you've endured is horrible, and I wouldn't wish that on anybody. I'm so sorry that you went through that. But I think it's very important to kind of like think about the repercussions that a rape charge has. Did you think about that? Because, for example, people that go
Obviously, she fucking did. She wanted the nigga in jail. What do you mean? Did she think?
to prison for rape are, you know, that sometimes they get killed because of the allegations. So obviously, you sending someone to prison, that's number one, taking years off of their life for something that they didn't do, and there's a possibility that they could literally die in prison. Did that thought process go through your mind at all?
At that time, I'm going to be honest with you, it didn't cross my
No, because she didn't give a fuck. At least she's honest about that. She didn't give a fuck.
mind at all. My main thing that was on my mind is keeping myself safe and keeping my son safe and making sure that, I don't fall victim to this abuser again. And like I said, it's not right. I don't condone anything I said in that video. I think it's really important to, to make a very clear distinction in that the person in that video that was speaking is merely just a shell of the person I am today. And I've had to do a lot of work, and that's why my lifestyle is so important to me. When I made that statement, when I said those things on camera, I was a very angry, scorned Black woman who I wanted the guy dead. That's the reality of it. For what he put me through, for the pain they put me through. And it wasn't just everything I'd experienced in that relationship. It was almost like the wrath of what I'd experienced through life. And, how I'd seen men, including my stepdad, and, including men that, growing up abuse women. And I feel like at that point, my expression in that video was really just an expression of the wrath and the letdown and the pain. I was a scorned woman. And by making that statement, he didn't go to jail and he didn't get prosecuted. It backfired. And like I said, I really had to sit with the discomfort and the shame around that. And one of the biggest things, I haven't gone into any of the blog posts, and I refuse not to entertain, the gossip or the low vibrational, low frequency conversations. But I will say, quite a few people have messaged and said, "What about your son?" And I think
I'm done. I'm done, bro. I'm done. Shut the fuck up, bitch. 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 I'm done. What the fuck is the comment section? Where's the comment section in this bitch? Where's the comment section? Where's the com? I'm done. I'm done.
would have been
I'm done, bro. I've never been so annoyed. I've never been so agitated. I've never been I've never been so pissed off more than I am listening to a fucking situation like this. I've never been so gaslit. Like I'm using words I hate, bro. Like oh my God, bro. I've never seen some shit like this ever. How the fuck does this bitch have an interview platform? Cause I'm pretty sure this is not her first interview, how she conducts herself like this. How the fuck does this bitch still have a platform? Yo, I pretty much said everything I can say about this shit. The only thing I can say left is just fucking anger at from a place of fucking emotion. From a fellas, just try your best to fucking avoid bitches like this, bro. Just try your fucking hardest to avoid bitches like this. And I'm not gonna say woman, cause she is a fucking bitch. Straight fucking bitch, bro. Are you dead ass? Nah, bro. This man. If y'all like the content, man. If y'all like the commentary, if you guys have anything to say about this shit, please leave a comment and please leave a comment in the comment section. Let's talk. Y'all know I respond to all the comments that I get. I'm active on this bitch. So if y'all want to talk about this shit, if y'all feel like anything I said was out of pocket, or maybe not you, give me y'all thoughts on why y'all feel that way, or if I was being too harsh or whatever, which I'm no matter what, I'm not gonna say no matter what y'all say. Because it's possible I could see shit from a certain perspective, but in no way, no shape or form do I believe in this moment right now that anything I said was out of pocket, anything I said was wrong, and I don't believe shit that this bitch is saying in that video. Fuck Victoria, 1000%, bro. I really, I really hope that she goes to jail. I really fucking hope that she goes to jail, that this shit escalates so much that there's such a public outroar for how bad the police did and then what they're doing. I really fucking hope that the bitch gets thrown in fucking prison. And I don't give a fuck what y'all say. Y'all can say, "Oh, I'm hating, I'm mad, I don't give a fuck." There has to be consequences. Make that bitch an example. Make that bitch an example so this shit could stop. Not only for all the people that's been falsely accused of grape or sexual assault, but for the real victims of grape and sexual assault. Make this bitch a victim so females understand that this is not okay. And if you get found out that you lying on some shit like this, you are going to fucking jail. I'm gonna catch y'all niggas later, man. Listen, if nobody told y'all today, man, I fucking love y'all, man. Stay safe. Stay careful, bro. Think with this head and not that head. You feel me? That's all I could keep saying, bro. Go look for a bitch that has good personality over a body. Cause that shit gonna fade, bro. That shit gonna fade. Please, fellas, do your due diligence, and I'm gonna catch y'all later, man. Have a good night. Hug your loved ones, kiss your loved ones. Be grateful. If you do have a wife or a significant other and they're not a bitch like her, be thankful for them. Tell them you appreciate them for all, I'm gonna call my shorty right after this shit and let her know, like, babe, shit, you gonna watch, you gonna watch, babe, I fucking love you. You feel me? Everything you do for me, how you hold me down, there's no words that I could say that shows the type of gratitude I have towards you and how I view you, especially seeing bitches like this. So thank you for being you. Thank you. I'm gonna catch y'all niggas later, man. Safety out there, bro. Safety. Peace.